Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vander Zijden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. An inspired life is what we all should have, one that is the best life that we could possibly have, one where we're excited to live, where we feel as though things are going our way. I like to help people create that life in a couple of different ways, one as a medium, and the other way as a spiritual life coach. And by being a medium, I connect with our loved ones on the other side, and also as a life coach, what I do is I help people take steps to improve their lives. On this show every week, I love to give you a coaching tip, something you can do to shift your thoughts, shift your mind, shift your belief patterns, take some action to create the life that you deserve. Today's coaching tip is one of my favorites, and I can't believe I haven't talked about it a lot more than I have, and it is: do not take things personally. Don't take anything personally. When I first heard this phrase several years ago, well, many years ago now, I didn't understand what that meant. How can you not take anything personally? Because if someone does something to me that I don't like, or they say something to me, I want to take it personally. I want to feel as though they have attacked me in some way, because isn't that what we do, right? And it's an interesting concept to not take anything personally. And over time, as I've experimented with this idea, I started to really get the value of not taking anything personally, no matter what it is. When we take things personally, we become offended. We feel as though we're attacked. We might feel like we're victims, and we blame other people for how we feel. And as we do that, we actually end up losing empowerment. We become disempowered. It doesn't make a difference if what we believe is true or not. Okay, so if we take things personally, it doesn't make a difference if it's true, because we're creating our emotions based on our perceptions of what's happening. So it's really important to realize that perceptions are what creating this, and it's creating the negative feelings within ourselves. As I worked with this idea, and I tried to really get this going into my life, I noticed a couple of interesting things. One, my stress level was shifting, and I also noticed I wasn't reacting to situations, comments, as negatively as I might have, or as dramatically as I might have. You know, I wasn't complaining as much. I wasn't going on and on about things. I'm not 100% cured of this, but I work on it. I realized I have a choice in how I respond. I refused to take anything personally. And when I did that, there was really no reason to get upset. I have a friend who, at work, she feels as though she's being attacked. She feels whenever her boss says something to her, gives her direction, tells her what to do, gives her suggestions, she feels like it's an attack. If she's walking down the hall and she sees two people talking and one of them happens to glance her way, she just knows they're talking about her and talking about what a bad job she's doing. The interesting part here is that she's actually a good person. She actually does her job well, and there is no reason why anybody would be talking about her and complaining about what she does. But because she's insecure, she doesn't feel secure with herself, it makes her really sensitive to anything that she perceives to be a slight or perceives to be something against her, and it's actually starting to make her paranoid. She thinks everything that goes on is about her. Now, notice the word perceived in here. It's all perceived. We believe what we believe based on our perceptions. And again, whether they're true or not. We're projecting our insecurities on the people around us, and we end up blaming them for our emotional misery. This is huge. This is gigantic. When you first start to consider the idea of not taking things personally, we find it really hard to let go of the idea that other people are creating our reality, that these people somehow are creating our emotions. We hold on to that belief that we're right. We hold on to the belief that people affect us so much that we don't have control over it. We hold on to the belief we've been wronged, and we go about it by blaming other people. So if you're thinking at this very moment, and I'm sure somebody is, but they really did do this. They really did say that. They really did. It is true. I'm not just doing it based on my perceptions. Well, Okay, so let's just say for a second here, maybe they did do that. Maybe they're jerks. Maybe they're attacking you. If I agree with you, does it make you feel better? Does it make you feel vindicated? Like, it's okay. I can keep believing that and I can keep getting upset. Is it important for you to feel justified in how you feel and blaming others? Now, are you happy to stay there, upset, being miserable? Is that really what you want? And if you do, well, okay, stay there. I can't really help you. But if you think it's okay to continue to blame others, to take things personally, whether or not it is intended for you to take it personally, you will not be able to shift your power. You will not be able to change your emotion, and you're not going to feel better. And I'm going to say this yet one more time. It doesn't make a difference if it's true or not. What does make a difference is the choices you make, the choices to change how you feel, the choices to change your perspective. If you do those things, that's when you're going to start making a change in how you feel. So a way to do this, get out of taking things personally, is if your thoughts start going to blame, you start getting offended by something somebody has said to you, or you start to feel horrible because you think somebody did something to get to you. Play a new game. That's all this is anyway. Life is like a game. Play a new game and don't take it personally. Shift that perspective. Taking a simple example, somebody who is driving and cuts you off in front of you. And you get all upset because you're taking this personally. Now, let's just think about this for a minute. Are they really doing it on purpose? Are they really doing it to be a jerk to you? Are you taking that action personally? And do you really honestly think that was their intention, to drive in front of you and cut you off? Maybe they're distracted. Maybe they're in a rush. Maybe they have an emergency. Maybe they are just thoughtless people. Either way, it has nothing to do with you. So there's no reason to take it personally. And that's a simple example, which I'm sure is not as serious. Somebody is saying out there as well. It's not as serious as all the situations that have caused you to feel wronged. They're not as serious as anything that makes you feel less than or not good enough. The reason we take things personally is we want to justify those negative emotions and not take self-responsibility for how we feel. So when we're blaming other people, we are pushing our responsibility away. We don't want to do it. We're handing them our power, and you never want to do that. I have another friend that I know whose family will not come and visit her at her house. And she has it in her mindset that the family should come visit her. She should not have to go visit them. Well, as it turns out, she's taking this personally, but the family can't really afford to come to her house. They can't afford to take the time because of work situations and all of that. So because she's taking this personally, she refuses to come up with another option. She refuses to go to their house and visit them because she's stubborn and she's holding on to a perceived grievance. She is convinced that they don't come see her because they have some personal reason against her. And this is causing her even more misery. Now, do you understand what I'm saying? Because I'm going on and on. This is very important. She's not taking responsibility for how she feels. She's letting someone else control her when really she's creating it. Very strange. So if you find yourself reacting to someone, some perceived slight, you find yourself offended, you find yourself blaming others, being a victim, even if you think you're right, you can let it go. Even if you truly believe in your heart that you are right and they really are out to get you, let it go. Just let it go. If you base your decisions on this perception, you're going to stay in this negative place and you are going to be miserable. My friend at work who feels insecure and feels people are attacking her, she's reacting so defensively to people now that people are talking about her. They're wondering what's wrong with her. Why is she so paranoid? This other person who won't go visit her family, she's just creating more and more unhappiness for herself. You have a choice. You always have the choice to make changes in your life. And you have the choice to not create these negative feelings. You have the choice to not take things personally. Just block it out and let it go. Now, if you want to stay in the blame game and blame other people, be the victim, be offended, all that stuff, you go ahead. You do that. You have fun doing that. But if you really want to be happy and you want to be empowered, one way to get there is to not take anything, no matter what it is, personally. Okay, that's my coaching tip of the day. Did I drill that into your head really well? Yeah, it's been amazing. I've had some clients in the last couple of weeks. Ooh, I just really wonder, you've got to let the stuff go. So if you want to reach me, you can reach me at psychicmediumcolleen.com or on Facebook, Medium Coach Colleen Vanderzijden. And we are now going to move on to a caller. We have Allison from Australia. Allison, how are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Awesome. So do you have something in particular you'd like me to help you with?
Just a general.
Just a general reading?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to touch into a loved one on the other side here, a spirit on the other side. And I do have a gentleman who steps in really close right now. He actually feels very fatherly. So I don't know if it's your father or your grandfather. Is your father on the other side?
No. It could be the grandfather.
Okay. He feels very fatherly. I like his nurturing abilities here. I feel like he really wants to protect his family. I feel like he really loves them. He feels on the tall side to me. Maybe 5'10" or so, maybe even taller. I'm really short, so everybody's tall. I am feeling something in the hip area. Do you happen to know if you had a grandfather who had a hip issue?
Not sure.
Okay. I'm feeling a little bit of a hip issue, and it feels as though he may have had, I don't know if it's an injury or something in there. He feels as though he makes it to a pretty good age before he passes, and I feel like he's kind of funny. He's got an interesting sense of humor. Did you have a grandfather who really likes young children?
Yeah.
Okay, because he seems to be really funny. I get a sense of, you know how you hear the stereotypical things about the grandfathers pulling coins out of people's ears? That kind of thing. I get that teasing thing. Even though, he's not showing me how he passes, which is interesting, but that's okay. He feels as though he passes a little bit on the younger side to me. Did he pass in his 60s or 70s?
No, but he was young at heart.
Okay. So it's kind of cool to talk to him though, because I like his energy. He's a lot of fun. He's telling me you're actually a lot of fun too, but he is telling me you're really stressed out about something right now. Do you have something really stressed out?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's telling me that it's like you're thinking and it just keeps going on and on and on in your head and you can't step out of it yet. And he's telling me to make sure that you're really thinking and feeling about what you want in your life. What kind of emotions would make you feel better? Where is it you want to head? I get a little bit of a paralysis with you where you're not sure what to do next. Are you not sure what to do next?
Yes.
Okay. Now, does this have something to do with a family relationship issue?
Yes.
Okay. And can I go so far as to say, is it a romantic relationship issue?
No.
Okay, good. It's such a tricky area when you head into relationships. You don't want to send somebody down the wrong path. So good. Okay. So he's telling me that he's talking about you making sure you're doing what you need to do for you and not to be afraid to speak up and say what you want to say. Even though you feel like you're not sure which direction to head, he tells me that you actually do know which direction to head, but you don't want to go there. Do you have an idea which direction you want to go? Well, you should go, but you don't want to go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you hate that? Sometimes it's really hard for us to make decisions when we know it's going to make things maybe a little bit more difficult, or somebody's going to get mad at us, or we're going to feel as though we're letting someone down when we're not letting them down. We're actually showing them how to do what they're supposed to do. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing, isn't it? Life is so weird. We we think we know what we're doing. We want to be helpful, and he tells me you're a very helpful person. That you're actually very kind. He says sometimes you give people too many chances. Do you give people too many chances?
I've never seen it that way, but people said that.
Okay, okay. Because sometimes we just want to be helpful, so we just kind of keep going. There is the feeling, too, of making sure that you stay in your power, that you stay where you know you need to be. You're not normally a strict person, so it's hard for you sometimes to get things out. Is it hard for you sometimes to tell somebody how you truly feel? Yeah. And it can be tricky because you like to have people like you, and when we have to say something that somebody's not going to take well, it's hard for us. But in those times, we really have to remember to be what do I want to say? We have to be careful and honor ourselves and honor what's important to us and honor what is right for the other person, even if they don't like it. Okay? Does that make a bit of sense to you too?
Yes.
Okay, good. So he suggests that you just decide what you want to say, practice saying it, look at all the options, the outcomes that could happen, and realize it's probably not going to be as bad as you think as soon as you get the words out and everything gets clarified, because things just need to get clarified. He tells me you have the ability to do this, that you can stand up and do this. And he says it's actually a really good move. Now, before I let you go, I do want to ask you one more thing. I am getting a little bit of a stomach issue going on. Are you having like stress reactions in your stomach, or is somebody around you having stomach issues?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's just that mention of that. So if it's you, that's telling you something. Our bodies never lie. If your body gives you some kind of a weird symptom, there's a reason for it. Okay, so keep that in mind. And don't let it stop you, though, because if you get like nervous feeling or something, that's a different thing. Okay, that means you have to take care of it. Okay, that doesn't mean don't do it. It means take care of it so that feeling goes away. Okay, I want to make sure that was clear. Okay. So, Allison, I'm going to have to move on, but I do want to thank you so much for calling. It was really nice talking to you, and good luck with everything. I know you've got this.
I know. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Have a good day. And that was Allison from Australia. It's always really interesting when we have family things we have to deal with, because we want to be nice, but sometimes we have to put our foot down. So we've got to look out for ourselves. We don't want to be selfish. And so sometimes we put other people first, but being careful and taking care of ourselves is not selfish ever. And we are now going to move on to Ursula from Texas. Ursula, how are you?
I'm good.
Oh, good. How can I help you tonight?
I was just trying to get some information, or if you could tell me about my marriage.
Okay. And let me just touch into that for just a second here and see what I've got. Well, I'm getting a little bit of frustration on your part. Are you a bit frustrated right now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm also getting a little bit of irritation, and I'm also getting the feeling too that you have said all sorts of things. Have you been clearly communicating your wants and things like that?
Yes.
And I'm getting the impression as well that someone's not listening so well. Do you feel as though you're speaking to a wall?
Yes.
Yeah, I understand. I get a lot of stuff going on there. You know, when I touch into it even more, to the situation even more, I have to tell you, from your partner's perspective, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed with things. Is that person really busy with things? Workaholic energy? Just very distracted?
Yes.
And it feels like, you know, it's an interesting feel, I have to tell you, because I feel overwhelmed. I feel like if I have one more thing I have to deal with, I don't even know what's going to happen. Are there a lot of problems going on in that life right now?
Yes, well, actually, he moved out last month.
Okay. And is he one of those people that like literally just spends so much time doing other things rather than paying attention to you? It's almost like I can't get a full, it's like I can't see beyond my immediate future here. Is he one of those kind of people?
Yes, for the past 6-7 months, yes.
Yeah, it's a little strange, I have to tell you that. It makes me wonder, the feeling I'm picking up here, it really makes me wonder what's going on in his head, because it does not seem normal to me. It does not seem like it's been that way for a very long time. It hasn't been like that for like years, has it?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it seems like there's a shift here. And I'm wondering, too, is he going through a midlife crisis by any chance, do you think?
I'm not sure. Sounds like it.
It does, doesn't it? It's a really strange feeling because I don't know what it is. I get an inherent unhappiness there. And I'm not feeling, and I have to tell you this, too, I'm not feeling that it's you. Okay, I'm feeling it's him. I'm not feeling, I know you've said a lot of things and you've tried to get through to him and you've done the best you can for that. That I can tell very clearly. And it's almost as though something has shifted in his brain. And and I'm really wondering if he's happy with anything right now. Do you think he might actually be depressed or something?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah. I mean, come on. It's amazing, isn't it? And so when I feel that, I'm really wondering what's going on in here. And, yeah. And I get the impression, too, besides your frustration and irritation, I'm also feeling like you still love him, but you're so frustrated you don't even know what else to do. Do you still love him?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I also get the impression that you wish he would go back to the way he used to be, and there is a concern because is he going to? And that's an interesting question too. He's got some things he's got to work out in his head. He's got to figure out what's going on, and this is one of those unfortunate situations where he's got to make these decisions of what he wants. And I understand that you're trying to maintain some contact with him. And I understand you're trying to let him know that you do love him and all of that. But he kind of rebuffs this. Does he not really want to talk to you right now?
We only talk when we have to.
Yeah. He's really wanting his space. How unfortunate. There's the feeling of you... Boy, it's a tricky call for you because I know you would like things to go back the way they would, but, also trying to make plans for the future. Is it going to work? Are we going to get back together? Are we not going to get back together? And when I go down the line, looking ahead psychically, and I get into by the end of this year, which is not that far away. What is that, 6 months or something? I don't know. So by the end of this year, I get the feeling that we're still in a status quo, that things haven't really changed. I get the feeling that you kind of have your life on hold, but I feel you starting to move forward, thinking that I've got to create my own life without planning for him to come back. So I do feel some of that going on. At the same time, Boy, yeah. So you've got to maintain like the status quo for a bit of time. He knows you're here. He knows you would like things to shift back to the way they used to be. He knows this. So the ball is really in his court at this point. Okay. So, and as time goes on over the next few months, it's kind of a limbo land that we don't want to be in. It's a limbo land of letting things play out, letting decisions be made. And he's going to be making some decisions. Whether or not he comes to the realization he's depressed, and I really feel strongly about that, even though I'm not a doctor and can't diagnose psychically here. if he comes to that realization, something may happen. I do get the impression someone will talk to him about this and not you. I get the impression somebody else will talk to him and say, look, I'm a little concerned. It seems like, you're depressed, you're sad, whatever. So I do feel that may happen, and that may very well help to lead things in a different direction. My impression, too, as time goes on, is to keep sending him positive energy. You don't have to bug him or anything like that. Just send him positive energy. And I feel that by the end of the year, into January, February next year, you're actually going to start to be clearer in your head about what is acceptable to you. You may very well find out you're not interested in waiting anymore. You may very well find out that he's just decided he's done, and that's it, because it's hard to reason with somebody who's having a depressive state. I do feel by March, okay, where am I now? March 2018. I do feel by then that things are very clear for you, and you will know what to do. I want to tell you not to feel like you have to rush, not to feel like you have to make a decision right now, not to feel you have to know what's going to happen. You don't have to know. All you have to do right now is just survive, and all you have to do right now is just be open. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, okay? So maybe that sounds like a far, far time here to March, but it's really not that far. The time is going to fly. So take this time to figure out what it is you really want. Take this time to take care of yourself. Take this time to do fun things for you as much as you can, and try not to focus too much on that. Oh, my goodness, that was a lot of talking. I didn't even give you a word in there. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a tough position to be in, and I understand that very much. It's a very tough position, but I do feel that you're going to be a lot happier soonish here. Well, soonish, 6 months, 8 months. Okay, you'll be a lot happier. I feel you coming back into yourself, and that's going to be so important for you. Okay, so I'll have to let you go, Ursula. It was so nice talking to you. And I do want to send you lots of good luck and lots of love so you can take care of yourself. I'm pulling for you, for your happiness.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. And that was Ursula from Texas. I tell you, relationships, they can be so difficult, can't they? Now, this week, remember, do not take anything personally, no matter what it is. No matter if you know without a doubt that you are right. You're probably not. But if you think you are, don't take it personally anyway. Just don't. Just let it go and move on. Don't play the blame game. Don't be the victim. Choose empowerment instead. I'm Colleen Vander Zyden, and this was Creating an Inspired Life. You can reach me at psychicmediumcolleen.com or on Facebook, Medium Coach Colleen Vander Zyden. And I will talk to you next week. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Goodbye.